Where do I even start with this? Man, Disney has finally done it. This movie, it's just bad. Take the original Lion King, right? The 1994 classic. It's up here. You have this new movie, which is a shot for shot, scene for scene, almost line for line, or line for line, as I like to say, remake, and it's just right here. They do the exact same story, the exact same scenes, you know exactly what's coming next. The whole movie, I'm thinking, okay, wonder how they're gonna do this scene. I wonder how they're gonna do this scene. I wonder what's gonna happen when this happens, how it's gonna look in this new way of storytelling. It's the exact same movie, but it's just a bit more lackluster. So what's all this area? Why is this movie not as good as the original when it's a shot-for-shot remake and it's the exact same story? And I'm talking exact same. It's because it lacks anything that a movie needs for it to be enjoyable. Charm, charisma, energy, heart, passion. It's completely void in this movie. Now, you have the original movie, right? And you have this animation and it looks so grand, you know, like the original Circle of Life scene. It has the sense of just magic to it. I'm gonna use that word Disney magic again. And I've used it in my other reviews for the Disney live action remakes, and how it just seems like we're getting devoid of the Disney magic in these live action remakes. And the only time it even got close this year was to see Dumbo fly. In this movie, it is just so devoid of anything that makes a movie watchable. And I mean, I'll say this right off the bat. The movie, it looks great, okay? As soon as the movie started with the Circle of Life scene, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this movie looks amazing. You know, the CGI and the effects and the world, it looks super real. But then after the Circle of Life scene, that novelty just completely wears off. And you're like, okay, now I want to see a story. And this movie is a perfect example of why special effects don't equal story. And yeah, I can make a Star Wars prequels joke, but I won't. We go into movies because we want to feel something. And seeing the original Lion King, you see the story of Simba, and spoiler alert, Mufasa dies, his father, and then he's just completely, you know, tormented with the death of his father, so he just decides to run away, or he's told to run away. And obviously the whole Hakuna Matata thing, and he has to go face his past and talk to Rafiki and stuff. All this story stuff, it's here, but you don't feel anything. And this is where the big disadvantage comes from doing it live action, or live action. In the original Lion King, right, the 1994 animated version, they're drawn, they're hand drawn, so you are able to have these lions with these giant eyes, and you can actually emote emotions on these animals. You can just sense that Simba is crying because you have a tear going down his face, and you know, you can actually see you know, sadness and fear in his eyes. And with the eyes of Disney movies, that's how you can easily see the emotion of the characters, and they're heightened. You know, like Scar, you can like really make him just really sinister and evil, and you feel it. In this movie, they look like real lions. And from an animation standpoint or from a CGI standpoint, you can say, okay, these animals, they look real, but there's no emotion on their faces. So you can't feel anything. You know, when Mufasa dies, all you see is a lion, a little baby cub that looks like a little cub, and his mouth just moves. No expression on his face, and it doesn't change from when he's sad to when he's happy and when he's scared. Nothing changes. So you can't feel anything, and it's harder to feel something with a character that just looks like he has no soul and there's just no emotion there, and it's a story that you've already seen. So you know that, okay, here comes this scene, here comes this scene, here comes this scene, except we're seeing a lifeless version. It's funny to think that the characters that look more real feel less real, because you can't feel anything with just these bland, emotionless characters. So you're just watching a retread of the same movie with things taken out. This is where I got really concerned. Be Prepared. One of my favorite Disney songs, and in the animated version, it's great. It's catchy, it's sinister, the animation, it looks so grand with all the hyenas, and they're doing kind of like a Nazi Hitler thing going on. They just completely butcher it. the song is non-existent. It's basically like a little monologue that Scar has with the hyenas, and that's it. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, now this movie's in trouble. Because now I'm starting to realize that even though it's real life or live action, in animation you can heighten the emotions and you can make things feel more grand. Same with like the wildebeest scene. It just seems so small and lackluster. Yeah, the wildebeest look real, but it doesn't feel as big and as powerful and as scary as the original did. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's such a disadvantage to do it in live action because the scale is completely dropped. The song, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. You know, in the original you have all these bright colors, you have all these lions dancing, and you know, you have Simba's giant eyes going, yeah, let's go sing, and you're having all these animals dance. In this one, it's just the same song, but just devoid of any character and charm and wit and spunk, and there's just, you just see these little lions with no emotion on their face just moving their mouths and going, just can't wait to be king. It doesn't move you. This movie doesn't move you. Can you feel the love tonight? First of all, it takes place during the day, so it should be can you feel the love today or feel the love this afternoon. And again, it's like, you know, the line that Nala sings, it's like, he's holding back, he's hiding. Holding back and hiding, you just arrived. Like, this movie just is such a hodgepodge mess. And I'm thinking to myself, holding back and hiding. Well, holding back from emotions, sure, but that's not your fault, guys. It's just how you're animated. You don't feel anything. Can You Feel the Love Tonight is like the big emotional, like, romance and this lovely moment in the movie. You just don't feel anything. You just see some lions playing with each other. It looks like just zoo footage. Again, movies are supposed to move you. Movies are supposed to make you feel something, and you don't feel anything here. You don't feel anything here. The only silver lining I have for this movie is that Timon and Pumbaa, they're pretty funny. They get a couple laughs. It's because they're new. Most of the jokes that they have, except for What's the Matter with You, which is genius, all their jokes are fairly new. And therefore you laugh at them because comedy is spontaneous, not jokes that we've heard before. So again, this movie, it's a literal copy and paste, but just lacking everything that a movie needs. Charm, charisma, spunk, energy, entertainment. We've seen this movie before, just a worse version. So as for a rating, I mean, going out of the theater, I thought I was going to give it a 2 out of 5 because I was watching it and it's like, okay, it's nice to see The Lion King again. But then, as soon as I left the theater, I was like, oh right, I just watched The Lion King. I'm supposed to feel something from this. I'm supposed to feel that Disney magic, which these live action movies just don't have. They just don't have it. And like, I'm starting to think, okay, why was Disney so wonderful in the first place? Why is Disney at the place that it is in the world? It's because throughout history, they've constantly been pushing the envelope of what you can do with animation, with storytelling, with imagination. You know, they call them the Imagineers at Disney. What Imagineers? You are literally copying and pasting the same scripts and just sucking out all just magic from them. Now we live in an age where Disney's original content, it doesn't exist. So in that case, I'm giving The Lion King a 1 out of 5, and it hurts me to say that. I really did not like this movie, and I have no intention of seeing it again. And last little tidbit. You can really tell that the actors are really phoning it in, especially James Earl Jones. It seems like he just literally read the same lines as before, but didn't act them, he just spoke them. Also, if you're going to do a shot-for-shot, line-for-line remake, then put in James Earl Jones, then also put in Jeremy Irons. I mean, he's still alive and he's still doing things, but also, why would you take out Be Prepared? And why would you take out Rafiki's best scene when he's talking about learning from the past and actually the main lesson of the movie? Take that out and you just have a bland mess that, sure, they look like real lions, but seriously, what's the point now? The novelty of having those lions look real is completely worn off when the story doesn't have any emotion in it whatsoever. So anyways guys, am I just crazy? I know it's getting great audience scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Are you guys sick and tired of these remakes now? Even this year I was looking forward to Dumbo and Aladdin and The Lion King, and like now with Mulan coming out and The Little Mermaid, I don't really care anymore. I want to see a Disney movie, a Disney animated movie that I've never heard of before, something completely new, and something that can capture my imagination just like it did when I was a kid. You know, you can do it. Big Hero 6, Moana, Frozen, you guys can do it. But you guys are deciding to put all your energy into retelling the stories from the past without the magic. Disney, you can do better than that. Anyways guys, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you happen upon this video and like what you see and want to see more videos like it. This was a disappointing one, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Thanks again. Take care.